Welcome to Where We Knit. My name is Kristen and I am your host here on this little corner of the internet where I share all of the things making when it comes to knitting, sometimes sewing or other little crafts. I'm coming to you from my local yarn store that looks a little empty. They had a huge sale this week for a snow day that we had here in Minneapolis, and this store got cleared out. It was amazing. The name of the store is Dandelion Fiber Company. I highly recommend if you are in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, or the Twin Cities area here in Minnesota, check it out because it is a beautiful yarn store located very close to my house, and I teach classes here and hang out here quite a bit. I am excited to be back. This is episode 20 something. I'm not quite sure. And I must say that at the beginning of this taping today, I looked and I am at 5,000 subscribers. So I want to quickly just say thank you to those of you who have subscribed to this channel. This is just a little fun project that I like to do. I'm a teacher by day and during the school year, and on the weekends and the evenings, I teach classes here and knit my heart out. So thank you for subscribing. And with that said, let's get started. I have not filmed a podcast for 3 weeks. That's the longest I've ever gone. So many things have happened. Number one, I was really sick. Number two, I went on 2 little mini vacations, one to Palm Springs where my daily view looked like this. And another one was a weekend 2 weeks ago with my maker friends. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm also going to talk about the cast-on itis that I have that I'm struggling with, and a couple finished objects, and my excitement for a trip coming up this coming week, which is at Nashfest in Nashville, which is put on by Modern Daily Knitting. So let's get started. What am I wearing? I am wearing this amazing sweater that I did. If you saw in January, I talked about doing a little cast on with my friends Joan and Rianda, and we all love navy and green together. So we did a navy and green knit along. And mine is from the Soft for Women book by Sandness Garn. It is called the Cherry Genser Med Stripes. You can find it, a picture of it on Ravelry, but here's a picture of it here too, and here's another picture of me wearing it today. I love it. I am using Todd DK from the Lamb Kid. I really thought that this was going to pill just by looking at it. It's 50%, it's maybe 50-50, but the makeup of it literally is yak and cashmere. And so it is so soft. It was a delight to knit with. And I could not love this sweater more. The thing I love about this particular design is I like, the shorter sleeves, the oversized sleeve with no tapering, no ribbing. I love that it has a split hem and it just lays beautifully. Like I would make this again. I would use this yarn again. This has been done for a while. I cast it on in January and it's been done for a while, but I just haven't been on the podcast for a while. So first finished object. Next finished object, I talked about it, but I didn't show it to you because I either forgot that day or I can't remember. But my next finished object is the Elton pullover by Locatelli. And one thing I did tell you is that this sweater took me 2 years to complete. And I'm not kidding. Now, again, it was on timeout for lots of that time, but it was like knitting hair. And it's a fingering weight sweater. I love knitting myself a good fingering weight sweater, but this thing took me forever. I wish I would have I don't think it would have worked to steek it just because of the materials that I used, but It is so soft. I can't wait to wear it this spring. It's just light. I might wear it when I go to Nashville. And it's just this beautiful striped sweater. I used linen quill, Pearl Soho linen quill. And I also used this plume, which is Magpie Fibers lace cashmere silk yarn. It is definitely a luxury yarn, but it was like literally knitting with my hair. So that's why it took me forever. I just didn't get anywhere with it. And I was really worried about it because it was all puckery and weird. And then, you know, the magic of blocking. I wish I would have taken a before and after picture because this thing, I just love it. I got buttons here at Dandelion Fiber for it, but the Elton, it's just like this nice boxy like cardigan. Can put it over a t-shirt, a tank, could put it over a dress. I really love it. And I have no regrets knitting it. I don't think I would knit another one, but I do really love it. And my next finished object, I've been on fire. Well, part of it is I've been on vacation, and you know that, well, for me anyway, vacation means a lot of uninterrupted knitting time, whether it be at the airport waiting for your flight, on a flight, and then while you're just relaxing on vacation. So I had a lot of relaxing time when we went to Palm Springs. This is my view. This was my view every day. And we were just visiting family for like a long weekend, and it couldn't have been nicer to just warm ourselves up and just relax and enjoy some time with family. This is, now don't take a look too close because I haven't woven in all of my ends, but friends, the Paul cardigan. Ooh, whoa, sorry. It's very, I shoved it in my bag just to drive here and it got really wrinkly, I see. I'm gonna show you a picture of what it looks like on me right here, but I need to, one of the things that I'm gonna shop for is buttons for this cardigan. So I used these two yarns from Wandering Flock that I got at Sacred Sheep. And this thing is so soft, so cuddly, so like the Paul cardigan is by Morca Knits. Everything I talk about in this video is linked in my show notes. So please find all of the information that you want, link to the yarn, link to the pattern in the show notes. But this thing has so much detail. This pattern, I've never knit anything by Morca Knits before. I love that they have a little link to all of the little techniques that maybe I've never done before. I just want to see how they do it on the pattern. It was such a well-constructed piece and pattern that I will go back. I will definitely knit another one of these cardigans. I did the size medium, no regrets. This is probably going to be, I would bet at least this year or almost all time, one of my favorite knits in construction as far as how it fits. Double knit button band, but up at the top, it has this beautiful, oops, there's my, I'm gonna turn it around. Has this beautiful ribbing along the back. Like this is such a well-constructed garment. Paul cardigan by Morca Knits, and I'll knit another one. So those are the finished objects. Now, cast on itis has happened because number one, it's spring. Number two, I'm trying to stash down. And thank you a couple weeks ago for helping me come up with ideas for some of the yarns that I showed you on that podcast. Now, I am going to take what you said and like, I'm going to do like Kate Davies. I'm going to do one of her cardigans with some of my sport weight yarn from Unling Yarn. And the other one is going to be the I believe it's called the Garden Cardigan by Inkastrict. Many of you had said that you knit that and you loved it, or you just cast it on, which is so ironic. And I'm going to use my Isayer yarn, Genser yarn for that. So thank you. I love all your comments. I love all of your ideas. I wrote down, I put some in a queue, I put some in a notebook that some of you told me about. So thank you for that, by the way. Let's talk about what I have cast on since the last episode. Well, just 2 things actually, but there's some other whips that I have that I didn't bring here because I'm kind of embarrassed. I have so many going at the same time. But this is my Thru lines. I talked about that I was going to use this Peary by Brooklyn Tweed, that I was going to use this yarn. It was in my stash along with the yellow is Salty Dog by Spin Cycle. I love it. If you haven't seen this scarf pattern kind of wrap by Andrea Mowry, it looks like this. It's going to be huge, but I love how these yarns are knitting up. I love the 3 colors that I chose, and I think it's going to be pretty versatile once fall and winter hit again. I probably won't be using this. This might be something that I knit on when I'm at Nashfest. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to knit while I'm there, and I couldn't be more happy with that Thru line pattern by Andrea Mowry. My other, this is just work in progress. I didn't cast it on recently, but I hosted, once a month I host a knit along here at the store where we meet once a month on like a Wednesday or a Thursday night, and we pick out a pattern. This one was the Ventzel along, and I am knitting the Karla cape. I have, it's a big oversized pattern. Talked about it a million times on this podcast. Finally used my Newton from Stash along with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair that I always get here because they carry here at Dandelion. They carry a wide variety of colors and the Knitting for Olive yarns. So I feel pretty lucky to be connected to that. This cardigan is a beautifully knit, oversized. It'll be like a jacket this spring. I'm hoping to finish it soon. I've joined for the body now, and now just going back and forth, and then it has just shorter sleeves. It's knit on like a size 9 or 10 or something, so I think it's going to go pretty quickly. But that's my other work in progress. My other work in progress is going to lead me down this new path of I'm going to host a knit along on this channel. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, I want to talk about why I'm doing that. So Veronika Lindberg is one of my favorite pattern designers. I have both of her books, which is Knit This, that came out a few years ago, where I have knit. I'll show you a couple things in this book that I have knit. And then her newest book that just came out, Knits to Wear. So at the store here at Dandelion Fiber, we just started this past week on Wednesday, we are hosting a knit along called the Kika Kal. Knit along Kika. So Veronika Lindberg is, I'm kind of reading because I wanted to make sure that I talk about her with true facts, because she does have a YouTube channel you should check out for sure. She has beautiful tutorials on sweaters that she's designed, but she also has these beautiful patterns on Ravelry and on her website. So she is a Finnish knitwear designer. She's known for her modern sort of Scandinavian style. She's a beautiful photographer. I'm inspired by her YouTube channel and her style. I feel like it's very similar to the things that I really love, as well as color. I made in the Knit This book. You'll see I have lots of little post-its in here. I made this Lazy Cat cardigan in some yarn that I got at Rhinebeck a few years ago. I love this cardigan. Now, I love it so much I couldn't find it to come here, but I will post a picture of what I look like when I'm wearing it here, because I am bound and determined to find it. Something that's on my wish list in this book that I'm going to knit someday is this dirty caramel sweater. I mean, her attention to detail. I love that she does like a wider neckline, and the color is just exquisite. And I have made a handful pairs of these lollipop mitts that I have given away, so I don't have them to show. It's like Knit and Cascade 220. Veronika, I love this book so much. But then you came out with your next book this fall, and I love that even more. So if you follow me on Instagram at where_we_knit, you saw that I was super excited that I got a package from Veronika. And it was 3 of these books, 1 for myself and 2 to give away. So I'm giving away 1 in the store at our knit along, and I'm giving away another one through this channel for a knit along that I'm kicking off right now. So this knit along is called the Kika Kal plus WWK Where We Knit. If you would like to join this knit along, you can knit any of Veronika's patterns. It does not have to be from these books. This book this knit along will go until April 30th. So I'm going to give you March and April to finish. And you can message me, or you can on Instagram. You can also send me an email that you want to be added to the knit along. And then if you don't have access to Instagram, you may just email me a picture. All of my contact details are in the show notes. It's whereweknit@gmail.com. And then you can also message me if you'd like on Instagram to join the private chat for the Where We Knit and Kika Kal. So let's go back to Veronika. So Veronika has a variety of patterns, everything from excellent beanies. I did make her bubblegum beanie as well, which isn't in either of these books, I don't think. And then I have the Wishbone Sweater that is in my queue. Picture of it's right here. And I just love her style. I love it, love it, love it so much. And I'm so grateful that she sent me these 3 books to be able to give away to viewers, and also have one for myself to be able to knit more of her patterns. So join me on Instagram from today until the 30th of April. Post a picture of your finished object, either by emailing me, or if you join the private Instagram chat, and I will send you a copy of the Knits to Wear book by Veronika Lindberg. So the other thing I wanted to talk about in here is a couple other patterns that I'm just putting in my queue immediately. This one, called the Playful Palette, is this beautiful colorwork yoke sweater. Love that. That is in my list. But this one, it's called the Limoncello. It's a cardigan. It's so darling. It's so darling that I cast it on. Here it is. Here she is in the back. And I am knitting it with yarn that I got here, plus some in my stash. So this Coast yarn by Sandness Garn. I'm using this really light colored blue called Dusty Light Blue. And I'm pairing it with, I think I've probably had this for 5 years. This Kid Silk, Drops Kid Silk mohair. So I'm pairing these 2 together for that Limoncello cardigan, which I have, it's just called Limoncello, but it is a cardigan. I have cast it on, and this is so fun to knit and so easy to follow. That's the other thing, is that I feel like Veronica's attention to detail and how she writes her patterns are so like intuitive, but yet there's just the right amount of information needed for you to be able to follow along and not get confused. And that's what I really love when it comes to a pattern is I love to be challenged, but this is charted. I mean, I can't wait. So I am just finishing up the right front. We'll start up the left front, but the softness that I'm getting from these two yarns are making me really happy. So the Limoncello cardigan is the pattern that I chose for the knit along, and I couldn't be more happy. So I want to just say thank you to Veronika and her team. Veronika Lindberg also goes by Kutova Kika. And so that's why if you are wondering why I'm calling it the Kika Kal, it's because Kutova Kika is what Veronika often goes by in the knitting community as well. But this Knits to Wear line of publishing put this out, Effortless Patterns by Kutova Kika. And you will not be disappointed. It is full of beanies and there's a cute little collar. It has just this beautiful sort of aesthetic that is casual and looks comfortable and practical. There's also this cute little collar that I just think is so inspiring. So that is what I'm launching and something new on this channel because I've never done this before. So be patient with me. I'm really excited to host a knit along. Joann's. If you live in the United States, Joann's folded. Joann's was a fabric yarn crafting store. I'm so sad that it went bankrupt or they've filed bankruptcy and are closing their stores. So one yarn that I really love is this Patton's Croy sock yarn. And it's like a 75-25 wool to nylon. I have knit lots of socks in this yarn and they are workhorse yarns. And they also are so soft and just like warm. It's fingering weight. And I scored a whole bunch because I'm gonna knit a sweater in it. And you might be thinking, what? You have access to all these beautiful yarns? No. I am knitting a sweater in it with my leftover Roma phenol, and I'm making the Stria cardigan that looks like this. So I don't know when. I don't know if I'll cast it on this afternoon or if I'll cast it on in 10 months from now. But I got a sweater's quantity because I've always wanted to try out this in a sweater because I love how the socks wear. I mean, why not? I'm going to try it. So that's one thing that I scored from Joann's before they've completely shut their doors. Let's talk about this knitters weekend that I had up north at my friend Anna's stuga. Okay, first of all, meet Anna. I've talked about her before. Anna's a neighbor, Anna's a friend, and Anna is in my makers group that we get together every Sunday. So Anna put together a weekend where we were all gonna drive way up north, 4+ hours from Minneapolis, to stay in these two, what she calls stugas, which is these tiny little cabins, wait for it, that she built herself. Yes, she built them herself. There's nothing Anna can't do. Anna's a quilter. Anna's like this most beautiful textile artist. Anna's a painter. Anna's a woodworker. Anna is like the jack of all trades. And so she invited the 5 of us to the stuga. We slept in this tiny little cabin that was so warm and cozy. Looks like this. And then the other stuga, there's 2 of them, 2 buildings on the property. The other one is for making and things like that. So we hung out, we had really good soups, we drank coffee, it like went cross-country skiing. There's a reel on my Instagram that kind of shows all the pictures. I'll show a few while I'm talking about it here on YouTube, but it was such a beautiful weekend. And those weekends are things that get me through really stressful times. Like, I'm not watching the news. I just can't. And so, like, fresh air, new perspective, going with your group of women friends or men friends, who cares, doesn't matter, and just uniting with people who are like-minded and love using their hands to make things. And it was just a beautiful weekend, and I'm so grateful for those moments in my life. I feel really lucky to have a group of women who are makers like myself, who find enjoyment in just being outside and enjoying winter here in Minnesota, but also just making things with their hands. So it was an amazing weekend. What else did I want to talk about? Nashfest. I wanted to talk about Nashfest because I'm really excited for Nashfest. And if you know me, when I go to Rhinebeck, when I go to Sacred Sheep, I go with a plan. I'm going with a plan this time, a pretty loose plan when it comes to something that I generally have a very meticulous plan where I create a document and I bring yarn samples and I pair up things. And this time it's going to be a little bit looser. I'm going to purchase a couple things as giveaways for people on the channel, which is awesome. But I'm also going to shop for probably 2 specific things that I have been pretty much dreaming about since I saw them. I believe today, which is Friday the 7th of March, I believe this is when this Lina Publishing magazine number, I believe it's 24, comes out. So I believe that stores and retailers can now sell this starting today. Well, I had a chance to page through it, and then I also had to go down the rabbit hole of looking at all the patterns on Ravelry, and I am buying this today. So this is probably one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best, magazine issues that I've seen from Lina. I love their stuff. I mean, I buy them every time that they come out with a new magazine, but this one in particular for me screams my name. It's like screaming my name. First of all, Heidi Kastner, Flecks of Sunshine. Yep. Sure. Yep. I'll take it. I'm doing it in light pink. I'm using stash yarn. And the one that I'm so intrigued and so excited about is another Rui Yamamuro pattern. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably saw that I knit a design of hers, which was this amazing textured vest that I cast on Christmas and finished it immediately because I loved it so much. But now this Valo, the attention to detail in their patterns, Rui Yamamuro patterns, is just, I can't. So here it is. It's a vest, and that's like a thicker little waistband, and then this one is a thinner one. I love it. I love it so much that that's what I'm gonna shop for yarn for. Now, I've never bought any of Camellia Fiber Co. yarns. I've never used that yarn before, and they're going to be at Nashfest. So I believe that I'm going to either get the white, creamy white, to knit that exact same one, or I'm going to get a very, very slight pink, like you can't even tell it's pink, just has a very slight hint of pink. I'm gonna buy yarn for this specific item. It's fingering weight. I don't care. It'll take me maybe a while to knit it, maybe not, because summer's coming and I don't work in the summer, but I am really, really excited about it. So this, I'll probably just go home and page through over and over and over again this afternoon. But I'm also really excited to see all of the new cotton yarns that Tiff and Lara, who own Dandelion Fiber Company, where I am right now, they have such a beautiful eye for a palette of yarns that is so beautifully curated here in the store. I am really excited. I know that they are getting, in the months to come now, probably April and in May, are getting their cotton yarns that they've ordered from different places, and I'm really excited to see what they're getting. Because I want to invest in some new cotton yarns. And yeah, so that's another thing I wanted to just mention is I'm getting really excited seeing all these new spring patterns that are coming out. And I love watching YouTube videos. I watch so many people on YouTube myself and all about their spring cast on and things like that. You know, I found myself doing a fall inspiration and did a fall inspo video. I knit half of the things that I talked about in there, but I squirrel away so many ideas that I feel like on this channel, I'm just gonna have to be spontaneous and tell you what I cast on this week, because I don't really follow a list. And I don't do what I knit in 2025 or what. I'm just doing it a little bit different than some of the other podcasters, which is fine. But I just sort of go out on all these little whims, and I try to plan for these videos, but sometimes I just go down these rabbit holes and start talking about things that aren't even on my show notes. The other thing that I want to shop for at Nashfest is some red yarn. I had it in my mind that I was going to get red yarn at Sacred Sheep in Portland this past fall, and I never did because I found so many other things. So I'd like to find some red yarn for a sweater for fall, probably. Maybe I'll knit it this summer, who knows? I just have so many things on my mind as far as getting and really digging into my stash. So I'm not sure I will use this red yarn for a while, but nonetheless, I'm gonna shop for some beautiful red yarn there. And then I also wanted to just mention a new pattern that came out that I'm so excited about. It's called A New Sweater, A-N-E-W, A New Sweater by Yuka Tomioka. Sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. I'll put a picture of it here. It is beautiful. It's an oversized, super cozy. The cables on the sleeve and the hem detail, I love the look of it so much. So that is really intriguing to me. And then there's another, I don't know when it came out, but it's by Yoko Johnston. I have never knit any of Yoko Johnston's things before, nor had I heard of them on, or seen things on Ravelry. And then I went down the rabbit hole of looking at their things. The Woi Woi sweater is so beautiful. I love here. You can knit the sweater version or you can knit the vest version, and I have stash yarn for it. So that's another thing that's in my queue coming up. It's knit on like a size 6 or a size 7. It's DK weight. It would be a really fun knit, I think. So that's really all I have for you today, except for my favorite things. I didn't forget. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I have a section of this podcast at the very end generally where I share my favorite things. And it could be a feeling, it could be something I purchased, or it could be just something I made. Who knows? And sometimes I get kickbacks on them, but most of the time I don't let that like dictate it being my favorite thing, because I want you to buy it and you're getting a kickback, or I'm getting a kickback. So I'm not. So here are my favorite things for the last 3 weeks. So I had a birthday in February, And I've taught a handful of my friends how to knit, and now they're part of my makers group. And I love teaching people how to knit and skills, and that's why I'm here teaching classes at Dandelion Fiber Company. But this is just like so perfect. So my friend Jessie has been knitting for over a year, and she has turned out to be a beautiful knitter, by the way, and just finished the most amazing no-frills sweater in like this bright green by Sandness Garn. And for my birthday, she got me this bag. Is that not adorable? It says, I make knitters. I hope it's not backwards when you look at it, but it's this cute little tote bag. It's my like little project bag that I bring to my makers group. I make knitters. I love it. It is literally one of my favorite things. And she had it made for me, and it has little pockets. I have no idea. I can't give you the show notes. I can't put the details in the show notes because I have no idea where she got it. But it is, thank you, Jessie, one of my favorite things. My second favorite thing is something that I use often. I go and exercise in the morning before school. And one of my favorite things is these running lights. So I go in the morning super, super early, like at 6 a.m. to run, weather pending. And I put these little lights on my shoes, and they come in different brightness, and they're amazing. And every time my friend Michelle and I, when we run, every time we wear these on our shoes, someone stops us. Literally, we've been wearing them for probably 2 years. And I will put the link for these in the show notes, but they're rechargeable. So I get home from a run, I recharge them, and they're ready to go. But they go on your shoes, and you can point them up or down so you can kind of see the terrain in front of you when you're knitting, or not when you're knitting. Well, I suppose you could wear them when you're knitting too. But you can see the terrain when you're running, and they're great for safety. They're great so you can kind of see, and I use them all the time. And I will put them, they come in this little pouch. They're by a company called Night Runner 270, and they are my favorite things. Okay, so last favorite thing is, okay, and you might think that this is really quirky and dumb, but it's been life-changing for me. And you might think, oh, that is so over the top, but you think what you wish. But I have no tattoos. Not because I don't like them. I just have never done that before. And I have completely white eyebrows, right? So I'm a natural blonde. I mean, this is a little enhanced, but so I was so tired of penciling in my white eyebrows every single day that, yep, you guessed it, I got them tattooed. This is the second pass. You have to do it twice. And I am so happy about it. It just takes, 2 minutes out of my morning routine. But still, I wake up and I can see eyebrows. Like, it might not be a big thing to you because you have dark hair, but for somebody who's blonde, I love these. If you are in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, you must check out Amy. Amy is the owner of Sovereign Skin. She has a studio in Northeast. It could not be more clean, professional. I love everything about it. And I learned about Amy and tattooing eyebrows from my friend Nell, who's in my makers group. She had it done as well. And yeah, it's over the top, but I love it. And I have to redo it probably like every 3 years. But they're a little bit red and maybe scabby because they're kind of new. But yeah, I tattooed my eyebrows and I love them. And I was a little nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, what if they're like these huge, like caterpillar, like dark? But Amy did such a beautiful job matching it to the color of my skin and my hair, and I love it. So that's my last favorite thing. If you like what you watched today, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you made it this far, please give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And I try to film like once every 2 weeks. And then in the summer, I do it a lot more when I'm not working. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.